Hi all, Solo Guy here. Change of pace. I'm going to go ahead and do black powder using the version 2 of the rules, so that'll be the first. So this is my French army. I've got 3 brigades. Here's my first brigade with an artillery unit. And here's my second brigade. No artillery unit, but they do get an extra infantry battalion. Actually, they get a couple of more extra infantry battalions. They also get an artillery unit. And there's the 2nd Brigade commander. And then my 3rd brigade is made up of cavalry. The cuirassiers and the hussars. Led by the none too confident infantry officers. Not sure if they're going to follow them. And this would be my overall commander. Yes, it would be the model of Ney, but it's not Ney. Not today, it ain't. Okay, let's switch over to the other side. The other side here, we have got Blucher's boys, the Prussians. Okay, and I have 3 brigades. I have 1 brigade here with 1 landwehr and 2 regular infantry, 1 artillery, the only one the Prussians have, and 1 small landwehr cavalry unit. I have my 2nd brigade here, and again I've got 2 landwehr and 1 regular infantry, and then here my 3rd brigade here with 2 regular infantry and 2 landwehr units. Now the landwehr units are actually from Westphalia. Okay, I thought it would be kind of cool to go ahead and give them an area where they came from, and that's the same thing with my cavalry. Those guys I've recently done, as well as the Prussian artillery. The militia boys are, the landwehr cavalry is also from Westphalia. Okay, fine, cute. What's the goal here? The goal is this road. They need to control this point. And they're going at it. The Prussians are outnumbered, but I want to give them a higher status to reflect their hatred of the French in 1815 as a remembrance of what happened in 1806. Alright guys, that'll be it for now. Alright, so we're at the end of Prussian turn 1. Command rolls have not gone that great for the Prussians because I did it by brigade. So for this first brigade, these guys, they rolled an 8, which is their staff level. And these are my landwehr, and guess what? They're unreliable, so they don't move when the roll is equal to the command level of the staff. But to make things worse, this brigade here rolled a 10, and then the general was there, and I went ahead, gave him a re-roll for it, and they rolled a 10 again, so they haven't moved at all. These guys, this brigade here, has moved 1 movement. So right now I'm just having them in line formation. Some people would say, well, why don't you do the march attack? I'm not quite there yet for the march attack formation. But at this point right now, this is what we got for turn 1 Prussians. End of French turn 1. Cavalry brigade ends up making 1 move, so they moved up that 1 movement. The strongest brigade here in the center with 5 battalions backed up by artillery. They rolled a 10, but with the commander giving them a re-roll, they managed to roll a 6. So I decided to move them not quite 2 moves, but close enough. So now they are a little bit closer. They are definitely a little bit closer to the objective, which is really that crossroads there. And it's pretty heavy. I mean, you've got 5 battalions of line infantry. You've got the artillery, which won't move anymore at that point. They're just going to start shooting. My commander is staying there, back there. The brigade commanders move up, which is fine. These guys over here, these guys, yeah, I'm going to emphasize on these guys for a moment. What a bunch of indecisive characters. Seriously. They rolled an 11 on the command roll, and I already used up the reroll from my commander, so they're standing by. And again, this is a fairly strong brigade, 4 battalions of line infantry and an artillery unit. Thus ends turn 1, guys. Take a look at the overall battlefield there. So we are at the end of Prussian turn 2, and the boys have all moved up very closely, and they started firing on the French. There, they managed to get 2 casualties and a disorder. No, 1 casualty and a disorder on him. Okay, and these guys here, this line battalion, got 1 casualty. So let's work out the bead system here so you know. This is a marker that would be behind the unit. There's 3 possible states. You've got casualties, you have got shaken, you've got disordered. Shaken is definitely the worst. So when you look at the hit, okay, they have to roll to, so the Prussians roll to hit, they hit, then the French have to roll to see if they pass morale. If they pass morale, no effect. If they fail morale, they automatically take a hit, a casualty, and you just simply drop it off on there. And that's it. Okay, now, what if the guys rolled a 6? Then that makes them disordered when they get, you can only be disordered once in a turn, so this is what the gray bead is for, and then you would just add that on there. So now you have a point taken, a casualty point, and this unit is disrupted, disordered, if you will. But what about shaken? Shaken's the absolute worst in the game. Can you be shaken and disordered at the same time? Yes, right here, and we represent that with the black bead. Okay, so there's 3 possible conditions there. And the Prussians have drawn first blood. Let's see how the French respond for turn 2. End of French turn 2. This has been a devastating turn for the Prussians. First off, our brigade here moved up, fired on the Landwehr cavalry, scored a couple of hits, and actually caused them to become shaken. This cavalry went from here, swung here, but the main thing was the centerpiece here, these guys. They blundered on their command roll. I'm not joking. They blundered on their command roll. They threw boxcars. Then after that was looking at how the unit was going to go and move forward or do whatever, and they charged for 3 moves. They went and deliberately engaged the Prussian line that was here, and the Prussians fired back, which resulted in some casualties for this unit and this unit. However, the close combat was brutal. In the end, 3 musketeer units were off the field. Ouch! 2 of them were from hand to hand. 1 of them was a support for their buddy, and, well, they saw their friends run and they decided to run too. I mean, the Prussians have had some seriously bad luck for this first turn. Meanwhile, so we've got 1 Landwehr unit that has fallen back, whereas the support for this, well, that's gone. So for the French, they haven't lost the unit yet, but they do have a couple of chewed up battalions. Their artillery is screwed up right now, and the Landwehr cavalry is messed up. So that's it for French turn 2. What are the Prussians going to do next? Because right now the French, they got that intersection, man. They've got this crossroads here. What next? Stay tuned and find out, Black Powder fans. Okay, Prussian turn 3, the end of this battalion. These two battalions moved forward to shoot upon the artillery. The most they got was a disorder. The artillery unit shrugged off the hit. These guys and these guys fired on here, causing enough damage. So the stamina has been reached, and you have now got a disordered, shaken marker. The black is shaken, the white and pearl, that's the casualties that you're taking. So that's going to hurt for that. The cannon, the artillery unit here did nothing. These guys shot, no effect. And the landwehr cavalry got the shaken and 1 point off, thanks to the rallying skills of this wonderful brigade commander. So that's it for the exciting Prussian turn 3. Stay tuned, black powder fans. Okay, black powder fans, here we are at the end of French turn 3. The French have advanced here, fired on the militia, the landwehr cavalry, 4 excess hits. And yet, when it took its break test, it held its ground. That says something for these guys. There has been some shooting all along here. Nothing major. He took a casualty and he is disordered. The infantry tried to fire on the French there, got them the disorder. Okay, but no other casualties at that point. These guys rallied these from shaken status, okay, but they're still kind of weak. The artillery unit off to the side that you don't see fired over the heads of our heroic Ligny, and to hit the Prussian artillery to no effect. And not to mention, the cavalry decide to pull from the center and shift a little bit this way here to protect in case the infantry have some crazy ideas of stuff. Okay, that is the end of French turn 3. On to Prussian turn 4. Here we are at the end of Prussian turn 4. These guys were able to march back up. These guys stood and fired on the French to no effect. The artillery is sitting there doing nothing at the moment. The brigade commander brought the Prussian landwehr back down to out of shaken, and should have taken out a casualty in the process, but they are still disordered for the moment. But the real action's been happening over here. So this brigade here has been a lot more aggressive. They fired on them. These guys charged here, flanked them. Combat, these guys took 2 hits. These guys took 1 hit and got disordered. They're still in melee. These guys move forward, put some more fire into the artillery. There, no effect, but the artillery is pretty much messed up. So, with that, we still have French cavalry over here. This might be the time for them to declare a charge, but I have to understand about the square, forming the square with the cavalry charge and all that other stuff. So the French left flank's been taking the damage, but if you're looking at the Prussian left flank, see these guys? They're part of the 1st Brigade here, and they could just easily go and sweep this way. This is not over, ladies and gentlemen, but it definitely is the end of turn 4, Prussia. As we look at the end of French turn 4, these guys charged the cavalry unit and basically sent it routing away from here. The artillery unit that was here got shot at by these guys, and they ended up taking a break test and they were gone. These guys here, they shot, no effect. These guys were in close combat with this unit. This unit lost, this unit lost, forced back off the table. So at this point right now, for the Prussians, there's one brigade completely destroyed, another brigade fairly chewed up. The Prussian left flank has now basically been crushed. There is no Prussian left flank, and right now these guys are coming up and they're going to smash into him. In the ensuing turns, the Landwehr could go shift to form a defensive line here. But at this point right now, I don't think the Prussians have a chance in taking the crossroads that we had talked about earlier. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, this resulted in a relatively bloodless French victory, in that the French did have casualties, but they didn't lose any units. The Prussians lost, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units there, and their left flank is gone. So, heroes, let's call it to them. We got our brigade commander Gaston, who blundered his way, he blundered his way into, misread the orders of Mon General, and then blundered his way literally into history, smashing the Prussian center and driving them back, and thus starting the cracking of the Prussian line. The second hero of this battle is this fearless leader who at first got a slow start but moved up, passed their way through Prussian cavalry and took out the Prussian artillery and basically destroyed the Prussian left flank of the army. Wow, what a decisive victory. Hey, I'm sure I made mistakes in this game, but I have to tell you, doing Napoleonics is fun. Black Powder is fairly simple, easy to play with, and this is taking place in the 100 Days campaign, the latter part of the Napoleonic Wars. So I hope this benefited you, and hey, you guys take it easy, take care, God bless, I'll see you on the gaming field. Solo Guy out.